So for those of you that know and have worked with SoftTech in the past, you know exactly who we are, but we will have a lot of potential clients, future clients, hopefully on the call that really don't know who SoftTech is. So what is SoftTech? So SoftTech is the global leader in window and door fenestration software, both residentially and commercially. We're a company with over 100 employees. We're based out of Auckland, New Zealand. It's near and dear to my heart. I think it's where the hobbits live. We have many nationalities. We exist on 4 different continents in 12 different countries. So we truly have a global footprint. Of also important note, we are also part of the greater organization that is known as CompuSoft 2020. So under that umbrella, we are the world leader in design and estimation software in 3 different verticals. So window and door vertical, there's us, there's Fenatech, there's First Degree Systems in the UK. We also, with 2020 and CompuSoft, kitchen cabinet and bath design software. And then we also have furniture design software. So we really have a defined niche in the markets that we're trying to approach. Again, worldwide global leader in software design. So my name's Jim McCord. Some of you may know me, some of you don't. I've been in the building materials industry ever since I graduated from college. Prior to joining SoftTech, I spent 13 years at what is now known as Cornerstone Building Brands. So this dealer module is something that is near and dear to my heart. We had a pretty robust dealer platform at my prior job. And so I've been active in helping SoftTech to develop something that fits our clients' needs. Also today on the call, many of you that have experience with SoftTech know who Murat Alice is. Murat's been around for a long time, over 15 years. Murat resides in Istanbul, Turkey, but today he's actually sitting with me in a hotel conference room in the Pacific Northwest. So it's good to see him. Murat is very, very instrumental on the operations side, but he also plays a very customer-facing role in working with the sales team to help develop solutions for our clients. So what's the goal today? What do we want to do with our dealer module? So dealer module is something that's really heavily imprinted in the North American market, but we're seeing increasing calls to have that model for Europe, for Africa, for even the Asia Pacific market. So the dealer module is a module that allows your dealers to design and estimate product to return to you for purchase. The goal of this is to expand your footprint so that you can reach more clients more effectively with a solution that particularly serves your product. So some of the things that we'll discuss today, this is a web-based application that works in tandem with your V6 database. So having a homegrown dealer solution alleviates the need to go to a third-party supplier. It also alleviates the need to have middleware to connect the two. One of the things that I think that you'll find most exciting about today is the ability to do complex products that typically and have not been addressed or done by other dealer modules that are out in the market. So we'll demonstrate the functionality and the ability to do some pretty complex products that you will be able to have your dealer network not only quote, but also price and return to you for order. We'll also show you the ability to create custom designs on the fly, meaning you can start with a blank opening and pretty much create whatever you want. That alleviates the needs for a full library of pre-configured frames. We certainly have that solution if you're more of a cookie cutter approach, but for designs that need to be done creatively from the beginning, we'll have the ability to create those designs on the fly. We also have the ability to do dynamic option changing with validation. So as you are creating an opening, if you make a change, it might affect another option, or maybe the panel's too big and you get a validation error that says this won't work. So we'll take you through that entire process and show you from beginning to end how that works. So we'll get to the video portion real quick with Murat. We'll do the demonstration. I also want to make note, if you could just write this email address down. This is me, jim.mccord softtech.com. What I want to do is, again, there's about a 10 to 15 second lag. I will try to answer your questions in the chat function while the stream's going on. But if you have further questions or further things that you would like to explore, please don't hesitate to give me a call. And there's my contact information. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Murat. And again, we really appreciate you joining, and we look forward to showing you what our solution is for the dealer network across the world. Thank you.
All right. Hi, everyone. Murat Alice here. I'm based in Istanbul, Turkey, normally, but right now I'm with my colleague, Jim McCord in US. So we are doing that presentation from Seattle for you. I will share my screen for the presentation of the dealer module. So let me go to that web page. And I will stop my video as well so that you can see full screen nicely. All right. So this is our dealer module login screen. So every dealer, they will have their own email address as a user ID and password. So I click sign in. It's a web platform. It will be with your own, web page information here. And directly it reverts to the dashboard. Just note down that the dashboard we have, it's customizable. So we can create a custom widget for your desire. It can be, product data, or it can be sales statistics, whatever we want. And that is part of the agreement with the customer, how many different widgets they want and how that needs to be configured. So you can see there are a couple of different tabs here: quote tab, project, and purchase orders. Quotes are basically the estimates we are doing in the dealer module. Projects are container for quotes, so we can have a project done, which in one project we can have multiple quotes, we can have purchase orders and invoices all combined into one kind of container. That's the purpose of having projects screen. And maybe you have alternative quote from the same project with the different finish colors, so that will be also technically will be in the same container. And then the purchase order is when your customer accept the quote and you want to send that to the manufacturer. So when you approve and create a purchase order, that quote electronically will be transferred to a backend software V6 on the manufacturer side. So I'm going to start with adding quotes. So let me create a new quote with this create quote button. So here I pick clients from the database. These clients, the list will be dealers' clients. So the database for the dealer is separate for all the sales information and what's being converted. That all resides in the dealer database. So I click this product group. So it comes with the default, information, address, and other stuff. So we can set the defaults like exterior, interior finish, and glass selections done here. And this is defaulting for every line item, but I will just right away go to the quote item section. So this is the area where we will design our frames and put it. So you can treat this as like a V6 Lite if you are already a V6 user. So which means is you'll be able to configure the product the way it's designed in V6, but in a much more user-friendly environment. It will have not specifically all the options, but it will be close to that. So now let me add a new frame. So this is our catalog. you can see we have in this database, bifold doors, sliders, single double hung, casement windows, some storefront commercial doors. I will come to that because in dealer, we can do complex products as well, not only simple products. And custom shape windows, some molding frames, complex, again, two frames mold each other, and then some wood casement and again, some custom designs. So I will start with a bifold door. So I click this button. It goes to the library here with the pre-configured bifold doors. So I will add that fourth one, 1+2. So right now it's loading that frame from V6 with all the options and configuration backend, information that will be directly live. We are getting that to the dealer module. So once it's loaded, we can give a title. Let's say this is the first elevation, elevation 1. Quantity will be 5. And overall width and height, we can change. Let me do that 140. And as I change it, you can see dynamically the system checking all the options that are selected here. And in the back end, we have very, very complex, maybe a rule for validation. And based on that, it gives me that validation error. So panel width is larger than the maximum allowed width of 40 inches. So technically, I cannot, do that one and quote to my customer. So I need to fix that problem. And if I don't have access, then I need to reconfigure that frame and save it. Otherwise, it will not allow me to save. So that option is there. Now I will also change the height, make it 88. So we will keep that validation error for a while. I will come back to that, like how I can fix. So next, I will change the options for the top and bottom rail. So I click this button. You can see we have visual support for every single profile. So I click that 6-inch, and then next I'm going to the bottom rail and picking again 6-inch. So you can see immediately that those are a ticker, and the whole bill of material, the price, everything automatically calculated based on that live in the dealer module. So if I would go back and change that to 3-inch, you can see instantaneously that is updating, and we'll do the same for here. And that's again back to normal. Okay. Now let me add a grid option here. So I'm going to add a STL grid. So what you see here is our option flipping is dynamic. So as you change one option, dynamically we see other options popping up. And there may be a very complex formula behind the scenes achieving that. So that gives us a lot of power. It's not like only changing a few things and then you are limited to very basic option flipping. We can do as powerful as we want. So in that case, I can click 3 horizontal bars. And it's going to add those horizontal bars there. And then 1 vertical. So you can see the STL is added. Next, I'm going to convert that to TDL. And you can see now this is 3x1 TDL. Now, you can see the validation errors are still there. And how we can get rid of it. So here we did a 3-panel design, but this dealer module will not limit us. Like this is 3-panel. If I want to do a 4-panel, I need to start over. It's not the case. So I go here, the configuration, and I'm going to pick now 4-panel 2x2. All right. So once I do that, it will reconfigure that product with the same options. So I will see that you can see now I have 4 panel, still the same TDL option, and now no validation issues. So the frame is valid now. So that was my first frame. Now I will add another one. And as I add this frame, the price, if I go to the list of core items, you can see the price dynamically getting calculated. So that's automatic now. So each time the price will get updated here. So let me add a new frame. So this time I will add again from catalog a simple casement windows. This one. So it's loading the frame from the database, just taking a few seconds. And here, let me give that as elevation 2. Okay, quantity 3. And overall width and height, we can change that again. 20, 5, 40. So you can see this was valid, so it didn't give me any validation error. So on this one, I can change maybe the head option to a long leg, and you will see dramatically that head is changed. I can also configure the sash nested frame in it. So if I go here on the, you can see that is kind of highlighted. And from there, I can configure my hardware, for example. So I click the handle type, picking this one, go to the hinge, picking this option. And again, it's communicating with V6 on the fly all the time and picking a lock option. We can also put a visual support if in V6 you design that in a way that as you change hardware, these kind of pictures are more realistic. It's not going to be like a real 3D model format, but it will give you idea that you pick the correct, correct hardware. So if I go back to the items, you can see that's also getting calculated. Next, I will do a commercial product here, which is much more complex. So a lot of, I need to tell you something, like when we design the dealer, we have the features, functionalities in dealer, but the power of the dealer backend is basically coming from V6. It's like V6 Lite. So if you design the database in a way that you provide those options, then all those options will be available here in dealer as well. So we designed a custom frame. So I go to custom frame list, and we have a custom storefront. So basically what it does, it starts from an opening. It's loading the frame from the database again. So we will start from an opening and then configure the product. So this is elevation 3, quantity 10. I'm saying 200 by 100. All right. You can see we can input the number of rows and columns if you want. So it's going to be 3 row and 2 column like this. Or we can do a custom configuration. So custom Lite code. And in this case, what I will do, I'm going to write here something complex, 33331, enter. What it will do, it will create 5 columns, each of them having 3 lights, except the last one being 1 light. So you can see how fast it's being configured, that one. And on the last one, I want to put a door. So I go here, you can see as I move it, it highlights each and every light. So I go to that last one, and from the compatible doors with that system, I pick a door here. So it's loading up, and you can see that door appearing here. We can also change intermediate dimensions. So I'm going to do the first light and the last light, 45 inch. So this is 45, and the door 45. And again, we can work with metric or imperial, doesn't matter. This specific database is in imperial inches, but it's just a setting in dealer. you change that to the metric and it will be metric. So also we can change the height. So let me do that 40. And you can see the whole row is going. And let me that 40 as well. Okay, so that's my design. You know, as a part of database design, we lock these points so that you can only configure one row. But if we would design the database in a way that you can configure individual columns, individual lights, width and height separately, we will be able to do that. Not in this example because that's part of database design, but we could do that as well. So you can see that's a very complex product, which normally, I mean, doing in that type of web platform, we wouldn't even imagine, but now we can do that. So I will save that code frame as well. And you can see there are different tabs. So when you work on a frame, you can switch back to another frame and do design changes on the fly. We are supporting up to 3 configuration to be open, and we can change that number, but that's what we found as optimum. You can see all the price for items getting calculated here. So I will now add a custom sliding door, and you will see, let's say in that case, we will do a high-end residential sliding door with a multi-slide, quite complex. And I will start that again from an opening. So 5, which I don't have to do, but there is a pre-configured libraries for everything. I will show you that in a bit. But if I would go here and on the fly type something with the given, of course, configuration rules. So I can type P, X, or O as a part of slider configuration. So I did that. 7 panel configuration here, 5 to the left and 2 to the right. You can see that's being done on the fly. I have no pre-configured frames on this one. That is the key point, because normally in such web platforms, you have to do a lot of pre-configured products to handle all your combinations. And that's a lot of work in backend and front end. And that makes the projects quite long and expensive. But in this case scenario, we are just creating frame types in V6. And from those templates, we can create on the fly, you know, how many verticals, how many horizontals, and or specific to the that product, the options will come. We can put screen, for example, on this one, and so on. So this is how it will work. Now I'm also saving this one. And if we go one more time to the item list, I will show you from here. Again, this is the categories view. You can also navigate from the left like this. So you can see all the pre-configured sliding doors if you need. Single double hung, casement windows, those are all pre-configured. Some pre-configured storefront and door with side light, top light. We have shape fixed windows. I'm going to create one of these now. And we can also do mulling, where you have a bifold and then top light, or slider top light, or you have a casement, 2 casement windows mold together. And I have here a top hung, a double hung mold with a casement as well. So we have a lot of options on mulling. We can do different product types, like this is the wood example. And these are the custom ones that I showed you before. Also, what we can do, let's say, if I go back to my list and shape fixed windows. So this one, full circle, is I'm doing a lot of from these recently. So I can click that favorite button. And then when I go to favorite, that full circle will show up. So I can easily work, and that's favorite is per dealer. So I can easily work with those favorites and quickly make my elevations on there. So this time I will go with half round to show you some custom shape functionality we are having. And my focus here is more on design part, because more or less in much of the dealer software, you will notice that there are a lot of, functionalities there on address, sales information and all. These are typically similar pricing adjustments and all. So I don't want to focus too much on that, because our power here coming from a configurator with a lot of power comparing the competition. So here I can change the radius. That's the only parameter available. So I'm making that 60 inches. And I'm going to add a sunburst grid on that, which is a little bit complex. So you can see grid bar. I have 4 options to choose with. I can also put internal mountain in between glass. What I will do, I'm going to add 2 rings, and it's creating the rings, and 4 spots. So you can see that's a very complex grid design done. And I can say that also to my code. All right, so I have 5 items now here created. So when I'm happy with this, I can make the code active. Right now it's a draft code, but when I make that code active, then it will be I will be able to issue to the customer. I can see each and every line item. I can change. There's also a default shipping line item where I can put a number for shipping and go here and say the shipping will be 500. And you can see that's being updated here. And for each items there, we can also change margins, and they are coming with the default margin. So for that particular dealer, they can set up their default margins, or manufacturer can control that if needed, but typically it's free for dealer. So you go here and make it 30%, and that price getting updated, and we can see the final price. So we can print the code and typical workflow. So first I'm going to make that code active. Okay, you can see the status is active now, and I have an official code number 5. So now I have options to issue that code. And once I issue that code, it will create an email with the actual email ID of the customer, dealer's customer, and the attachment of the report, code report. So they can send that to the customer and get approval if needed. So let me do that, issue code. So you can see now I have 2 options. Either I can reject or accept. But in this case, because this code is issued, it will become read-only now. So if I edit one of the frames, sorry, go here. This is shipping. Let me go and edit one of the frames. Yeah, you can see everything is grayed out here. So I cannot edit those frames anymore because it's a code that is being issued. If I would like to create an alternative for this one, then I need to duplicate that code in the project and proceed from there, as in maybe different finish options or whatever. But this is now already being delivered to the customer, and based on that, it will be approved or not. And once you click the accept code button, then this item will be listed in the purchase order list. So if I go here, you can see list of purchase orders. And those purchase orders, basically what that means is automatically when you transfer that to when you create a purchase order, that code will be transferred to V6. And in V6, in the backend software, that Byfault door that you see 2+2 with all the grids and all, that will be ready for manufacturing. So you don't need to do any editing technically. Of course, as an engineer, maybe you will do some small changes on that if needed. But normally, what you do is just you go with the paperwork from V6, create, the optimization, manufacturing, material takeoff outputs, drawings, and so on. We also, if which is not implemented yet, but that's something which will be part of the dealer solution, and to our existing customer, we will provide that option, where you can also have some basic shop drawing attached to this code and send it to the customer for approval. So that option also will be there. We can also do NFRC if needed. That can be communicated with V6. And if in V6 you have a setup for NFRC, then which we don't have in this demo database, then here you'll be able to see the NFRC data. And based on that, you can work. Other things that I could show is we can also add, let me close this code now. And if you close it without doing any action, it will still wait in that state. So it's issued. You can always open after a week or so, either reject or accept. Okay. So I'm going to create a new code very quick and pick a customer and go to the items. So this time I'm adding a wood casement. This one. All right, so the same thing, you can change the width and height, and based on that, you know, the system will calculate everything. But what is different here is you can actually do some changes on the design. Let me go to here, for example. So you have the style width, top rail height, and bottom rail height. From the drop down, you can pick values. But we can also do like completely custom. So if I would do top rail height 6 inch, you can see that's been updated. But if I would do custom and go here and type 12 inch, okay, let me try that with the style 5 inch. Yeah, you can see on the fly, there should be a formula problem in the top, which, yeah, we can fix in the database. But this one, the style width, I did a custom design completely like 5 inch. If I change that to 7 inch, it's going to be 7 inch. So if you have some wood systems where your profiles are variable, you don't know the actual thickness, you can get that there. And the V6 will be able to calculate the weight automatically, dynamically with the material and all, and that weight you could use on your shipping calculation and so on. So I'm going to close that frame as well. So this is an overview of how we configure different product types in dealer. Now, when you create a purchase order and that quote is transferred to V6, it will also show from which dealer that's coming. And you will have a reference number there matching with that. So you will be able to control. And maybe in future, you can integrate with your ERP that automatically those integrations work with it. In future, we are also thinking maybe a CRM integration can be done on this dealer front end where the customer list can come from a CRM solution. The possibilities are quite a lot here. We can improve that product a lot. We can add new features as needed. And the power here is some of the features you add in the actual dealer module, and some of the features you just need to add into database. So which means like it's not necessarily every new feature needs to be a lot of coding and integration to that new version in the dealer. You can solve a lot of stuff with also backend database design. So to make a database, an existing database compatible with dealer, we have a couple of important points, and we will provide, if anyone is interested, we will provide information on what are the parameters needed to make an existing database and convert to dealer. Our professional services team can help on that. Yeah, we could teach you as a system company or as a manufacturer, how you do that so that you can control that. So that was my initial part of the demo. I think if there are any questions, we can try to answer them. I'm handing over that to Jim right now.
Yeah. So Murat, fantastic as usual. And again, I'm sure the vast majority of people on the call know exactly who you are. to Murat's point, anybody that's interested in learning more about the dealer platform in a more intimate setting, please feel free to get a hold of me. The email's jim.mccord, MCCORD @softtech.com. And I'm happy to answer any and all questions, and we could put you in a more personalized demo to show you the strengths of the platform. But I really do think that this is going to be a game changer for the commercial industry, because it's been largely ignored with dealer solutions in the past. So with that, I would to thank you all for taking the time out of your day to join us. We do apologize for the probably at least 5 minutes of missteps in the beginning. This is a new platform for us. And I think once we got the bugs worked out, I think this is something that we'll stick to in the future. So on behalf of myself and Murat and SoftTech, I want to say thank you. And hopefully we'll be talking to all of you here pretty soon. So on that note, again, one more time, thank you and have a wonderful day.